888 say ESPN. 888-729-3776. In 10 minutes, you're going to hear why Lamar Jackson is really betting on himself more than ever before. That comes your way in about 10 minutes, and you see the head shaking by Keyshawn Johnson when it comes to that. Why you pointing at Harry for with the pen?
Sign, man.
You'll get a chance to put your John Hancocks on his contract. You can do that in about 10 minutes here on G. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. And
what am I betting on?
Yeah, well,
what if I'm Lamar? What am I doing?
They said we're gonna get to it, Keith.
No. If you want to get to it now, we can move the other conversation.
We're gonna get to it, but I'm just like,
we can get to it now.
No, I'm puzzled that I just don't. And I'm not taking that. There's no need to.
He's a 21st century dude more than ever before, betting on himself. That's what this is.
I'm a bet on myself, but I'm already at a certain level. I don't know. Whatever. We can talk about it, man. We get there.
What more does he? I understand where he's coming from. Like, what more does he have to prove?
Well, let's just stay on this because you guys are hot about it.
To the organization, to the fans of the organization, to yourself. What more do you have to prove?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like me personally,
okay.
I'm not stepping out on that football field
until
all. I have that contract.
Man, at all. I can't help you. Don't call my damn phone. Don't text me. Don't send no messages to no other players. I can't help you. I cannot help you.
Right.
Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
I can't do anything for you till you pay me my damn money.
Well, Lamar Jackson is betting, and this is just me spitballing. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with Harry. I know where you guys are coming from. You guys have done something that the average person will never ever do in their life. Play that game at the highest level, and you know all the risks and rewards that come with it, especially the way that Lamar Jackson plays football, the way he's able to run around and try to make plays. It's a different way. So, yes, sense would say, hey, Lamar, you can't play that way without getting your money first, without getting your guaranteed money first, without getting your signing bonus first.
Call me selfish. Call me whatever you want to call me. Tweet at me. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not getting my ass on the field for you until you pay me. Period. Well, they offered him a contract. Well, it's not the contract that he wants. And it's not the contract he deserves. Well, he's not going to get the same money Deshaun Watson. Well, okay. Well, I'm not going to take us to the promised land either. I'll sit tight. That's all I'm saying. He's got a different mindset, different mentality. One Joseph Keyshawn Johnson, though, be sitting right at home.
But I agree with Key. And I know a lot of people may say, well, Dak got hurt and he still got his money. Their playing styles are 100% different. You know, a lot of things that Lamar Jackson does is with his lower body. You know what I mean? He runs the football. Yeah. He creates those disadvantages towards opposing defenses. So he can't afford lower body injuries like Dak may have had.
Yeah.
And think that organization is going to say, you know what, we're going to still give you the contract that we were going to give you beforehand. I don't think it'll happen like that.
Unless there's a strong relationship there that he can trust that they're going to do that. Me personally?
Not you.
Oh, I can't trust you.
Yeah, you got to trust yourself.
You might sell the team on me next week.
That's the
then
first thing
what?
I learned in this business. That's the first thing my receiver coach, Terry Rabisky, who you know very well, listen, don't trust nobody in this business. I don't care how cool, how close you get with them. You can't trust anybody in this business. Because at the end of the day, everybody's going to be out for themselves.
What if they sell the team?
Well, it goes back. Well,
then the new owner comes in, and the new owner comes in and goes, you know, I don't know the deal you guys had, but me and my lovely wife Sherry, we don't want
Sherry.
I just had to come up with a Sherry.
We picking names out of a hat, out of the air.
I don't want to say Karen.
No,
Sherry.
You can't say that.
Cheryl.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever, you know.
You would have said Karen, I threw this pencil at you.
There would have been a flurry of pencils coming from all over the place.
But it's just too much risk, man. I didn't even mean to take us down this way. I just was thinking, I'm like, what is there to talk about? There's nothing to talk about.
That he's very, very close with. Teddy Bridgewater. They're both from South Florida. Not the same exact area, but they're from the same place. I look at Teddy Bridgewater, they both went to the University of Louisville. He's in Minnesota. He's in practice. He drops back and gets hurt. Alter his career.
Absolutely.
Alter his career. Now, I'm praying for Lamar. I don't want anything to happen to him. But at the same time, we can't just look at the pros. We got to look at the pros and the cons.
Right.
when you look at this situation.
Keyshawn J. Will Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2 with Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas, and Freddie Coleman. Check out what Jeremy Fowler, ESPN NFL reporter, had to say about giving us the latest on what's going on between Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens, and the contract negotiations.
Some of the people I'm talking to around the league are a bit skeptical this can get done because there's going to be a gap in guaranteed money. It's believed that Lamar Jackson wants a very strong guarantee structure, and he has a blueprint with Deshaun Watson and what Watson did with a fully guaranteed $230 million deal. Now, I'm told the Ravens have been trying to bridge the gap in recent weeks, ever since that Kyler Murray deal went down in Arizona. That sort of reignited the quarterback market. So Baltimore certainly is trying, but there is a gap that has to be closed here, and they got about 3 weeks to do it.
Yeah, let's close the gap then. We could do a deal in 24 hours.
As simple as that.
It's not difficult to do a deal, but if I'm a Lamar and I'm his mom and I'm his advisors, you're not stepping on the field, young man, period, because you don't have anything to prove, okay? Let's assume he goes out there and he plays as well as he played last year, the year before, whatever the case is. Outside of winning the Super Bowl, what is there to prove? You go, what, are you going to win the MVP again? Okay, so you win the MVP. What, are you going to rush for another 1,000 yards again? Okay, you rush for 1,000, you're going to throw for 3,000. Okay, same thing you've always been doing. Right. So what are you proving?
I know what he did prove last year. I know
that with him out on the field, that looked like a different team.
My point exactly. They was 8-3 and in first place in the AFC conference before he got hurt. He gets hurt, they start losing. So he proved that this organization needs him, this team needs him, because everything goes through Lamar Jackson. Think about that. That team was decimated with injuries last year.
And he still was cooking.
Still had them first place in the AFC.
He's owed $23 million in a contract this year before he becomes an unrestricted free agent next year. You guys use the word that has been forgotten about with Lamar Jackson's whole thing. You guys use the word trust in terms of who can you trust. Maybe Lamar Jackson trusts himself too much to say, hey, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do these things like I've always done, and if they don't pay me the kind of money now, somebody's going to pay me later. The difference is not too many organizations are going to reconfigure an entire offense the way the Baltimore Ravens did it for Lamar Jackson. The minute that he was able to come up his rookie season, they threw everything out. With everything that Joe Flacco was doing, they said, we can't win that way. We got to do it for this guy. And they changed the entire offense around, and they've been able to be successful together. Lamar Jackson knows exactly, like you guys mentioned, what he means to this organization, and when he's not on the field, they're not the same football team. He, in my opinion, maybe has too much trust in himself, thinking that if I'm like this and they know I'm like this, then I can really command top dollar like other guys have gotten around me before it gets to my contract.
Yeah, look, they're going to pay him. He's going to get paid. What that number in the end is, I don't know. In terms of organizations, I tell people this all the time. The Baltimore Ravens were a perfect landing spot for Lamar.
Absolutely.
There's other teams, there's other organizations, there's other coaches in this league. They don't like what Lamar brings to the table. So to think that in free agency that it's going to open up, a vault because he's Lamar Jackson, there's only certain teams that need quarterbacks. And in those teams that need quarterbacks, they got a certain philosophy and style in which they want to run. When you talk about a team, the New England Patriots doesn't need a quarterback. The Buffalo Bills doesn't need a quarterback. The Kansas City Chiefs doesn't. So as you start to look at this thing and pare it down, things start to dwindle away. You're only going to have a handful of teams that need quarterbacks. But do they want to run the style in which Lamar puts out on the field? On top of that, just because he's a free agent don't mean they're not going to franchise tag him.
That's true.
But I don't even think they're going to get to that point. I honestly think his deal will be done. And I also think that Lamar Jackson will not step on the field if it's not done.
Okay.
That's just my belief.
Okay.
Because it's going to be too many people telling him, man, you can't get on the field. It's too many.
Like you.
Like me.
He brought up another point that we can talk about for days. The simple fact that the Baltimore Ravens, number one, self-reflection is the greatest thing that you can have, right? They understood, you know what? We have to alter what we do to fit this young man. That's called good coaching. That's called a good organization.
Right.
You don't have great coaches out there like that. You don't have great organizations because you may have an organization get Lamar Jackson. You know what? My system works. Lamar Jackson has to fit my system versus tailoring their system toward his assets and what he does the best.
Yeah.
You think Frank Wright? Think about it. I want you just to, for your brain right now, I just take one team, the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
do you think Frank Reich, based on his history and at the quarterback spot, would all of a sudden alter everything? Think about who he had: Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan.
Keep going. Yeah.
I mean, like he's not all of a sudden gonna go, "Ooh, I like that now, and this is what I like to do."
Right.
No, he has a certain style quarterback. This goes all the way back to when Bill Polian made his comments. Bill Polian was only saying what he said based on his familiarity with the quarterbacks that he's had, the Peyton Mannings, the Jim Kellys of the world, the Kerry Collins,
Right.
big, strong, statue-ish type quarterbacks. He's never had a runaround guy. Back in the day, one of the things that they would say is, go play another position because we like this. We don't think you can do it. You know, you see what I'm saying? That
Completely,
mindset,
yeah.
totally different.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll, on the other hand, may look at Lamar and go, yeah, I like that, because Pete has had similar stuff like that.
Right. Either way, Lamar Jackson betting on him some more than ever before.
Don't bet. Don't
Keyshawn say, stay away from those tables, Lamar Jackson. That casino may not be for you stepping on the field.
Force them to pay you right now. That's all I say.
This public service message brought by Keyshawn Johnson, Harry Douglas, and also Freddie Coleman to Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max. We're going to talk about two other quarterbacks in which you may believe they need a number one, but they're so good, they really don't need it. That's after Harry has this from FanDuel.
Start